Yes, yes, yes. This is another episode of Wake Up African People. Tonight is the Truth Doctor and Brother Haru, one of the newest brothers on our station. And we are having what we call the Truth Hour, a tribute to Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, better known as the Truth Terrorist, a bad, bald-headed black man that gave his all to our people. And a lot of us think that he was assassinated. I know he was assassinated, and it's been proven that he was assassinated. So Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad left a son and a family behind. His son is better known back in the day as Farrakhan, Little Farrakhan. He named him after his leader that he loved so much that betrayed him. And Farrakhan now today is known as Farrah Gray. He dropped the name because he knew who turned on his father. So now he calls himself Farrah Gray. He's a multi-millionaire. He sleeps on the streets with poor people, and he helps poor people, and he uses all his monies for the uplift of the people. He's on Facebook. You can friend him. He may accept you. He may not accept you. He's a very smart young black man. His father prepared him to use his financial stability to help uplift the people. He's a bad young black man, and one day I would love to meet him in person so I can tell him how great his father was and how his father left a mark on my life. Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, I'm going to read from this. This is what they call him, but I don't agree with this militant thing. I say a freedom fighter. And they said Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, the black militant, dies. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, a black militant known for his harsh rhetoric. That's what they said, it was harsh. Because the only reason it was harsh because it went against white supremacy. He wanted black people to have their own stuff and to control their destiny. Brother Haru, take that from there because I think the other sister is calling me. Go ahead and finish from there. I'm going to come back.
Okay, well, I was introduced to Brother Khalid Muhammad, I guess like 1990, 91, early 90s. And back in them days, we used to listen to Ice Cube. And there's a particular album out at that time called The Death Certificate. For those out here listening, they probably remember that. If you're from the old school like that, you probably remember that. But what was distinct about the brother, that Ice Cube would have him like clips of his speech. And, when I first heard it, I thought it was Farrakhan at first. Then I listened again, and I went and found the speech, The Goddamn White Man, okay? And I'll never forget when I first popped that CD, that tape in at the time, the tape, and he said, the goddamn white man and his cold blue eyes. He said, the devil don't even cry. And he said, but like baby kids, we won't die, we multiply. And I thought that was like the coldest thing on the whole album, you know what I mean? And he would have different parts when he's talking. And you have Brother Khalid Muhammad speaking, and I thought that it was moving, and that's what kind of opened me up to him. Then I come across the speech, the actual speech, and he was far ahead of his time. If you go back and listen to the goddamn white man speech, you would hear him speak on ancient Kemet. You'll hear him break down the science of my yacht. He breaks down all these things that a lot of people are just not coming around to, and he did it he was still under Minister Farrakhan at that time. So he was very studious. He stepped outside of the teachings of just the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You understand me? He went into a more African-centered type of thing, a African-centered doctrine. Nation of Islam says the Asiatic black man. Khalid Muhammad was leaning towards more on Africa. He focused on Africa. He ain't really focused on Asia. And with that being said, you know, the conflicts had arose in the nation because I'm from Detroit. And I used to go to Mosque number 1 over there on Wyoming Street. If you're from the D, you know what it is. And I kind of see how they had ran things, because if you look at the higher-ranking captains and the higher-ranking people that held the higher office in the nation, they were light-skinned. Okay, Khalid was a dark-skinned brother, and I think he got wind to where it was gonna come up, because it wasn't. I don't know the details on how Farrakhan betrayed him, but I knew the atmosphere in the Nation of Islam. Okay, they put the light-skinned brothers in charge up there. I don't know if you know that, you know, and they pretty much was on that light-skinned, dark-skinned stuff, you know, on the low. It was subtle, but it was there. And, you know, after he was betrayed, he went on to do his own thing, which ended up being the new Black Panther Party. And, you know, he basically put that in motion. He was the founder of that movement, and he was sincere about it. You know, he was sincere about it.
Let me cut in on you, Brother Haru. I can give you more details on that. Well, actually, it was started by a brother called Aaron Michaels, and they were a small group. I believe they was based out of Ohio at that time. And what happened is they were spreading a little bit, and when Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad got shot by a person from the Nation of Islam in Texas, right, the new Black Panther Party people came to his aid to protect him, and then they took him to a sister's house who's been a friend, my sister's best friend named Cheryl Smith. She's an activist in Dallas, Texas, and they took her to his house, and that's the house that's her house is where he recuperated at from when he got shot. When they shot him, his little son was next to him. Another brother caught some bullets too. And you know what happened is after that, Dr. Khalid started to thinking, you know, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Then this is after he did the King College speech. This is actually after they, you know, was throwing him out and ostracizing him and had him out for a while. He didn't declare himself out of the out of the Nation of Islam until after that. Then after that, he started to see Farrakhan changing, and Farrakhan started moving more towards the center, started hanging out with Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, the biggest coons in America. And you'll see them all rubbing elbows. He's supposed to support Jesse Jackson in his campaign, and they started calling Jesse a traitor because he's with Farrakhan, and Farrakhan was talking about Jaime Town, where the Jews were, which the Jews are backing him all the time because Farrakhan has been a long-time agent for years.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody. Go ahead, Brother Haru.
Oh, yeah. He's been a long-time agent for. I mean, that's how he came into power. A lot of people don't realize and understand. You know, I saw some footage of him in the 60s, just speaking real coldly about Malcolm X. You know, and he to this day he has never atoned for that. You know, but so I'm very well hip to that. But I did not know that some brothers from the Nation of Islam had actually shot Dr. Khalid Muhammad. I did not know that. I was totally unaware of that. And what year was that?
It was one. And I think we have Sister Hatshepsut, our hostess, online. Are you there with us, Sister Hatshepsut?
Yes, I am. Peace, family.
Oh,
peace.
Okay. All right. Now that we know we got you in there, we could come to you a little bit after me and Brother Haru finish breaking this down. Now, go ahead, Brother Haru. I'm sorry. I apologize for interrupting you.
Oh, it's cool. But I was not aware.
I had to hail to the Queen when the Queen came. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. That's, you know how we do. Yeah, that's how we do it. You know what I mean? But I was unaware that happened.
I'm matriarchal. I want everybody to know that.
Okay.
I'm a matriarchal brother. That's the way we were when we are the protectors of the Queen. We the Shemshu Hor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Protectors of the faith. The faith is our woman. Our black woman is the faith. Ma is the faith.
Love it.
And it's represented by a woman, not by no man.
Right.
Because we knew where we came from. We didn't come from no rib, no side of no man, out the head of another Negro's penis. Nah, we came out of the divine Yanni, the most gracious, the most best thing that ever happened to man, black man anyway, being born out of a black woman. Okay, my brother, go ahead. I just had to do my rendition to the women.
Appreciate that, King. Appreciate the life.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I was unaware of that, but I knew that it was a long time tension between the light skin and the dark skin in the Nation of Islam. I had a lot of friends that was FOIs, so it all comes in there. And I think that when they start, putting him out of the nation, it was because he shined the brightest. He was the most studious. He was the most articulate. When he speak, he moves. You know what I mean? It's like thunder. His voice moves you. And a lot of times, as we know, the history of the nation, when you shine like that, brothers get jealous. Okay? And I don't know, like I said, I don't know the details, but that's pretty intense to shoot the brother. I mean, that's crazy. I had no idea that even had occurred. Now it comes together. But like I was saying earlier, you could tell he was on his studies, because not only did he break down ancient Kemet on this one speech that I heard him speak on, he broke down the Yoruba, the Ifa, the Orisha, Ogun, Shango, Abizi, all the different Ifa, all the different Orisha. And that was like the early 90s, and that's, brothers was really wasn't up on that. And he just was far ahead of his time in terms of, he just was ahead of his time. And he although he went to these different schools of thought, when he was with the nation, he was loyal. He was dedicated. He wasn't the type of brother that was trying to get his shine on. You know what I mean? He was dedicated and loyal to that movement. And like you had said earlier, I think I know he was assassinated. I don't know how I know, but I know because something inside of me is telling me that, because he was too dangerous. And how it is when you cross the nation and you on that certain path, that's a dangerous thing, to cross them or not, should I say, cross them, but somehow become not in their best interest. That's a better way I should put it. And then, once that occurred, I was like, wow, but like I said, he was one of the most influential brothers that got me into the knowledge,
Yeah.
I heard other people speak, but,
he came through the young hip-hop, and he actually brokered the truth that still stands today between the Bloods and the Crips. Nobody talks about that. Dr. Khalid, when he put their hands together, I guess Ice Cube, he was looking all scared, and that wasn't it, but he put the brothers' hands together, and it called the truce. I mean, and it's been like a truce ever since. You don't hear about the Bloods and Crips shooting each other down like they used to.
Right.
You don't hear about that. So Dr. Khalid brokered a truce with the gangs. And now I want to read from what they say about Dr. Khalid, finish up where I started out. Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, right? And they call him a militant, which I don't agree. I agree that he was a freedom fighter. For his harsh rhetoric, and the only reason it was harsh is because he went against the cracker, and the cracker don't want to be overthrown. And the Jews, he said, the rhetoric about Jews and whites died this morning, according to the spokesman for the new Black Panther Party, who I'm going to get on his ass too, Malik Zulu Shabazz, because I used to be the chairman of the Detroit chapter of the new Black Panther Party. So let me tell you, Minister of Khalid Abdul Muhammad had made his transition to the ancestors. And Malik Zulu Shabazz said at a news conference outside Wellstar Kenotone Hospital, where Dr. Khalid Muhammad was taken earlier this week, he declined to reveal how the 53-year-old Muhammad died, saying that it was a very serious and it was very serious in natural causes, which later on he came back out and said it wasn't, but he knew it wasn't from the beginning. I'm going to tell y'all some intriguing stuff. This has never been heard on radio. I'm telling you from an insider that has been holding this thing since 2000, and I got to let it out tonight. And it says he was surrounded by Muhammad's family, 8 party members, wearing black uniforms, combat boots, and berets. They chanted, "Long live Khalid Muhammad and the Black Panthers, Black Power." Hearts are aching. Our hearts are aching. We are sad, but we are sad. Okay, let me see here. I lost my way. Okay, our hearts are aching. We are sad, but at the same time, we are happy because we know that his place is secure. Shabazz said. Yeah, he happy, all right. Hospital officials were not immediately available for comments. Muhammad attended Dillard University in New Orleans in the 1960s. It was there that he became interested in the Black Liberation Movement after hearing Louis Farrakhan speak. Muhammad was named one of Farrakhan's top lieutenants in the Nation of Islam in 1981. He served the Nation of Islam mosque in New York and Atlanta throughout the decades, and in 1991 became Farrakhan's personal assistant. It was Farrakhan who gave him the name Khalid, meaning warrior, but he was born Harold Moore Jr. in 1948. Racial, religious controversies. In his own public speaking engagements, Muhammad quickly became known for his virulent attack on Jews, homosexuals, and whites. I love that, brother. He was ousted by Farrakhan after 1993 speech during which here to the Jews as bloodsuckers. Urged mob murder of white South Africans. Right now, we all know the Jews are bloodsuckers. So why did Farrakhan kill this man, put this man out for telling the truth? Which Farrakhan had called them Heimies and bloodsuckers before? So this thing is really deeply intrigued. So Farrakhan kicked him out for making a speech that Farrakhan himself made earlier. So now we got this here. We got, in April 1994, before cheering audience 2,000, Muhammad denounced the Jews as honkies. I am going to be like a pit bull dog, he said. That is why I am going to be against the Jews. I am going to bite the tail of the honkies, Muhammad said. He remained unrepentant about his rhetoric. I was born to give the white man hell, and I will give him hell from the cradle to the grave, he told the Atlanta crowd in 1995. The members of the New Black Panther Party, who called themselves capitalists, believe in socialism and nationalism among blacks. The organization has chapters in Dallas, Atlanta, South Carolina, New Jersey, New York, West Virginia, and Philadelphia. Muhammad led the Million for Youth March in New York City in 1998. The rally, attended by 6,000 people, ended in a clash between the police and marchers. Dozens were injured. He organized the second and third Million Youth March, but the most recent one drew a crowd of 100 people. Police said Muhammad blamed the devil, white media, and city officials for the low turnout, and that was true. That's how Giuliani in New York got his run for the president, because Giuliani did the Gestapo shit on the people of New York. He threw all the peddlers off the streets and moved them into little small spots behind fences. I mean, he ran them all off and gentrified New York for white people to come back. So he did a good job, and they looked at him as, he can really. That's why he got the Republican nomination to run for president, but he didn't go all the way. But he's known as a Gestapo type. He hates black people, Giuliani. He was district attorney in New York and everything, and he is a real racist cracker. Have you ever seen one? So What happened is the Zulu guy, you know, he's an attorney, and I don't care. He can come sue me because I'm broke. He ain't going to get nothing.
Right.
I'm going to tell the truth tonight. I'm the truth doctor.
Right.
And the truth doctor gets to get the truth out because it hurts me to tell a lie. So I must tell the truth. We was in the new Black Panther Party. I had an ideological problem with the way they wanted to march around and pick it on Jews and wanted us to hold some Bin Laden signs up down in front of the Jewish embassy in Washington, D.C. I drove all the way from Detroit to Washington, D.C., and the Negro was going to try to hand me a Bin Laden sign. I was like, oh, brother, I protest. I am not working around no Jewish embassy with no Bin Laden sign. What the hell Bin Laden got to do with black power?
Right.
He ain't no black man. He's an Arab.
Mm-hmm.
So me and him had ideological problems because I was studying for years before I came into them. So I was telling him, brother, we need to teach our people before we march them out. What the hell they marching for? We need to start teaching them about Africa, Kemet, all the stuff Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark and all them talking about. That's what Dr. Khalid was talking about. But Zulu, you don't talk about none of it. You can't even talk. So things got kind of fishy. Everybody gave me a call, said, don't say Dr. Khalid was murdered. Don't say it. He died of natural causes. I was like, oh, man. The brother was murdered. Because, see, they had another brother named Malik Shabazz down in Detroit, who this brother almost organized us against each other. It was guns pulled out. We up to two groups was getting ready to fight each other, me and his group, which I regret to the day. And with the brother Malik Shabazz down in Detroit, me and him made up because at the end of it all, I started thinking that this guy had something to do. Him and another dude called Hashim Nzinga, light-skinned dude that walks around. They call him, Dr. Khalid used to call him Brother Steve. When he did that Black Holocaust thing, you could see him coming down. He said, Brother Steve, bring down the picture. Because he was bringing the picture of the black people being hanged from that book, Without Sanctuary.
Right.
So he's bringing it down.
Right.
He's bringing it down. Brother Steve is bringing it down. Now, this was Dr. Khalid's personal secretary that was supposed to be around him all the time. Him and Zulu. Zulu wanted to be the leader because he had this thing called Unity Nation that he ran out of Howard University, or what Dr. Khalid called it, Coward University. You know what I'm saying? He ran that thing out of there. And what happened is he couldn't talk like Dr. Khalid. So he's going to tell us, don't say Dr. Khalid was killed. So at this time, I'm noticing that he engineered me and his brother against each other in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
But I was active in Detroit for some years. I used to be on the radio station, 88.1 they had down there. And at first, I was with this other guy when he was a Panther, right? But then I see him. He kind of like had the collar on, the priest collar and all that, and I wasn't with that. You know, are you going to be a black power or are you going to be a Christian priest? I mean, to me, it's an oxymoron. To put them two together. Because the Christian religion has nothing to do with black power. Islam has nothing to do with black power. None of these things have nothing to do with black power. Only black stuff that comes from the minds and the aspirations of our people have anything to do with black. If you want a religion, get yourself an African religion. If you can't find an African one, make you one up. If anything's better than their bullshit religion because it enslaves your mind, your body, your soul. It's a spell that they put on you. That's why they make you read the scripts, but they call it scripture, because you are in a play, and you are playing out what they want you to do. When you don't read that book, you don't know nothing about no Jesus, Moses, Muhammad. Now, if you never seen that book, you would never even speak of these people, because the book and reading is what makes you believe in this stuff. If you don't never read the book or touch the book or know what they're saying in the book, if nobody has taught you anything about that, it has nothing to do with you in life. This is a spell that they put on you so you will worship them through proxy, a white God, but you're really worshiping the white people through proxy of this white God. And they're giving them all your spiritual powers that you pray every day. When you pray to this Jesus or any of these white ideals of who God is, you're actually praying to white people. And you're giving them all your spiritual powers. Your spiritual powers are very powerful because they trick you on how to use your spiritual powers to keep you enslaved. That's a hell of a spell. So now, They told us to tell Dr. Khalid wasn't there, but then they wrote the newspaper. I think they done to date. They done had 2 newspapers, and they didn't sell very well because I would have still had some, but I threw them away. They send all these newspapers, sell the newspaper, send the money back, and then the newspaper, the second or third one, they came out with Dr. Khalid was killed by this woman that he met, that the woman made him bleed out. You know, after she gave him something or whatever happened, she gave him something, but the woman, she disappeared. Dr. Khalid said to meet the woman in a shoe store, some shoe store, I think in D.C. She was a very beautiful woman. That's why all activists, if you got a beautiful woman, all of a sudden got interest in you, and the beautiful women wasn't after you before, be careful, because that might be the one they send to kill your ass. Because it's very easy for a woman to infiltrate you and kill you. Because all she got to do is tell you, I'm going to give you some of that stuff or whatever and put you to sleep with it, buddy. You're gone. Because the greatest assassin to assassinate a man is a female. Now, they said that this female let Dr. Khalid lay on the bathroom floor all night long and bled out. Now, why did she not call the ambulance? Where was Hashim and Zinga? Where was Zulu? Then all of a sudden, Zulu claims that little Farrakhan, little Farrah Gray, the brother I mentioned from the beginning, told him that his father wanted him to be leader. Now, I've not heard this young brother come out. Actually, he has distanced himself from them. He distanced himself from the Nation of Islam. He distanced himself from Malik Zulu Shabazz and them. And he changes his name. And then Zulu Shabazz all of a sudden now hangs around Farrakhan, the coon, that have sold his people out and gave them to Scientology. Now, what are you doing with Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam sends a soldier to shoot your leader? Because Zulu Shabazz is positioning himself right now to be the new Farrakhan. And I'm telling you guys, by the time's getting ready to come, he's going to be the new Farrakhan when Farrakhan died. That's why he got out of the Black Panther Party. And he positioned himself. Even he ran for politics down in Washington, D.C. And I think he got over 10,000 votes. You know what I'm saying? He got in Washington, D.C. Now, how are you running for office and you're a lawyer and you're a revolutionary for your people? We know what happened to the revolutionary lawyers. Look at Chokwe Lumumba. He just won the mayoral campaign for Mississippi. He was in the Republic of New Africa. He was a real warrior lawyer. He only warred for the people. He didn't care. So, he stayed broke because he would have been way richer if he would have joined the system. Because when you're in the bar, when you take that bar and you pass the bar exam, you belong to the system. So you got to come in court and argue by the rules. You can't argue against the rules because you could be disbarred. Now, if the system didn't own you, how can they diss you? How can they disbar you if they didn't own you? So the lawyers, the police, the judge, all of them is with the system. So when you go into these courts, it's not fair from the beginning because you don't have a biased lawyer that's not connected to the system. You don't have a biased judge that's not connected to the system. There's nothing's connected. That's not connected to the system in there. Even yourself is connected to the system. Right. So now, Dr. Khalid was the only brother ever, human being, black or white or anything, that was censored by the United States Congress. Censored. Don't talk, nigga, shut up. Because he was hitting them so hard. When he said he was a truth terrorist, when he said, you got me busted, you Jews got me busted, now I'm going to go wow on your behind. And I'm going to be like a pit bulldog. And when a pit bulldog bites you, he locks. He said he had me going, boy. He said he was going to get the Jews. He was going to get the butt-licking, boot-licking, bamboozled Negroes and everything, and you going to beg Minister Farrakhan to put me back on post. Because he loved Farrakhan. And Farrakhan betrayed a man who loved him, even named his son. If you name your son after another man, you know that you have to love that other man. You don't name no son have no other man. Unless it's your dad.
Right.
Or your uncle or your brother or something. That's a hell of a tribute. To name your seed after another man. To even forsake your own name and give him the name of another man.
Right.
And this man is the man who betrayed him. And then talked about him. Said he had a soft side, like he was a punk. Called the man soft on the tape. You could go look at it on YouTube. He totally dissed Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. The man who used to carry the gun inside the Bible. A gun used to be locked, him and Farrakhan sleeping from foot to head on the same couch. We helped them rebuild the whole nation of Islam. And then when the Negro got up there and got famous and the TVs and the cameras and everything thrown in his face and he was seen as a black leader that's talking all this gangster shit but ain't producing nothing, they can't even keep their restaurant open in Chicago. Where is all that money? Nigga living up in Hyde Park in a big-ass mansion next of it, used to be owned by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, they say. What has Farrakhan done for us? What has he done? Million Man March. He got over 1 million Negroes standing in front of the White House, the biggest, most corrupt house on earth, where all the orders and everything come from. That and the Pentagon to screw over all the people on the face of the earth for white supremacy. So he didn't say charge, tear this mother down. Because we built it. Black people built the shit in the first place. So we could tear it down if we wanted to. I'm like George Clinton, turned the White House black. Right. So now we're going to go back here to Sister Hatshepsut for her first time because we only did this for an hour tonight. We're going to have a part 2 on this. Go ahead, Sister, and speak your piece.
Peace, family. Okay, well, since we out here, and I said the truth is the only thing that we can give, I'm going to be truthful. When you came to me earlier, I really didn't know too much about Dr. Khalid Muhammad, and you had told me to do my research, as much as possible as I could about Dr. Khalid Muhammad, and from what I've seen, oh, my God, I just fell in love with the man, All he was trying to do to me, was to give out misinformed information, and a lot of people viewed him in a way of him just being a racist, but he stood for way more than being a racist, he came off sounding like Nat Turner when they said, kill the babies and stuff like that. Them white people was pissed. And one of the videos I did watch, Brother Akbar, was the one with him and on the Donahue show, Phil Donahue.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, that blew me away. And there was something in that.
That's the show that got Donahue kicked off TV because Donahue went against the Congress when they said censure him. He wasn't supposed to go on nobody's TV. And Arsenio Hall got kicked off for having Farrakhan on there too. But they brought him back. But Donahue had the best show on TV that do that daytime stuff that everybody liked. He got kicked off at the height, and then they replaced him with Aunt Mama Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
He was a great man. I'm telling you, Brother Akbar. And ever since you told me about him, I couldn't stop learning about him. I just wanted to know more and more and more. But this is what's so funny about this whole situation that we're discussing, this brother, today, is because when I watched the video of Dr. Khalid, at the end of the video, they showed when he was born and they showed when he ascended. And that, I thought he was still alive, to be honest with you, because, like I said, I didn't really have too much information about this king. So when I seen that he passed away, because it's like I wanted more of this. I wanted to see him live, But when I seen that he ascended, it just made me think to myself, I'm like, okay, the time from when he was born, from the time he was supposedly had ascended, I automatically said, no, there's no way. He was murdered. There's no way. That man was too healthy. And there's also something I came across. But yeah, my whole intuition told me there's no way. He just passed away from natural causes. That's some BS. That's really some BS. Now I came across something else where they were also trying to discuss how this king ascended, and I'm gonna read it right here. It says, while many of us have our own personal opinions, which are shaped by our consciousness and worldview, Dr. Khalid had serious health issues and refused to take his medication from them. Maybe he didn't trust some of the doctors. We will never know. But even Dr. Khalid would want us to continue his legacy and not to be arguing and wasting time on his death. With no disrespect intended, I embrace Dr. Clark, but bury the man and continue the plan. Now, this right here, they're saying that they saying he died of natural causes. Now, if he died of natural causes, why was he supposed to take medication? I don't understand that. If it's natural, there's no need for medication. So to me, this right here is an oxymoron because it makes absolutely no sense. And then it says he refused to take the medicine because he didn't trust some of the doctors. That makes no sense.
Right. He's too intelligent for that.
Yeah, so, like I said, I don't know too much about him, but I know he was the one. And he was a main target because he was a threat to society.
Well, actually, he had surpassed Farrakhan in knowledge because he was studying. And you still don't hear Farrakhan to this day mentioning much of anything, if he ever mentioned anything at all about chemicals. I don't listen to him anymore.
Right.
But I've never trusted Farrakhan. I was in the original Nation of Islam. And nobody ever really trusted him. Farrakhan did the same to Malcolm, didn't he?
He did the same to Malcolm, didn't he?
Well, when Farrakhan first came back, all the people that didn't like War of the Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad's son, who took the Nation of Islam into Sunni Islam, went with Farrakhan, because there was a lot of people that just said, no, I'm not going into that Arab stuff or that Indian stuff. And when Farrakhan popped back up on the scene, before that, he was Brother Latif. He had joined the brother, but the brother had got all the money. The family of Elijah Muhammad had got all the money that the people put in there, and they used it for themselves. And Farrakhan wanted some money, and the money stopped the way it used to be. You know what I'm saying? It stopped coming the way it used to come. So when he got mad, I don't know if it was a plan between him and Warif to go get the people, because actually they started acting like they were cool at the end, before the end. Warif was coming to Savior's Day, and Farrakhan was going to his places, and for them to be common enemies, and Farrakhan saying that he destroyed his father's work and everything, they sure got real cozy at the end. So, myself personally, I think it was a plan to get all the people back. So what happened is when the people seen Farrakhan going astray, they left him. All the old guard left him, and he was left with new young brothers that didn't know nothing about the Nation of Islam. Like the brother said in Detroit on Schaefer Avenue, it was a very young, tall, dark-skinned brother, and I'm surprised he was dark-skinned, who was the imam, the minister down there. I met him quite a few times. I can't recall his name now, but he was very active in a lot of things going on in Detroit. I don't know if they kept him. I don't know if he stuck with Farrakhan, all the stuff he's seeing Farrakhan do now, but once the old guard died out and got quiet, Farrakhan got rid of the real FOI and got only people around him. You don't even see the FOI the way you used to. Not the real FOI, not the way they used to.
No, you don't.
So they got, because War of the Muhammad actually got rid of the FOI when he came in power, because he didn't want them to come after him, but the FOI was some fierce brothers. And a lot of them brothers, I knew a brother down in North Carolina when I lived down there named Ali Shaw. Man, this brother scared you with his voice. I mean, he was a heavy-voiced black man. Older black man, he had one leg. But this was one of the scariest Negroes I ever met in my life. You know what I'm saying? He was like, here's the roll. And I was like, damn. And he's the first one that I met. And this was back in the 80s. That said Farrakhan was a hypocrite and a criminal. And what's his name? He said he's not teaching what our Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught. He had went on his own and kept his own mosque, his store, and a farm. He had down in Charlotte, North Carolina. And he told me way back in the 80s, and I never followed Farrakhan. I never trusted him from this old man, because this old man was a real Nation of Islam, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was adamant what he believed in. But the light-skinned thing, the brother was touching on the light-skinned thing in the Nation of Islam. That comes from having a white God up there, Farah Muhammad. You know, you see a picture of a white man talking about he's an Asiatic black man. Come on.
Yeah, or they're saying that his spirit was Asiatic. He had to come as a white man.
You know what I'm saying? And India. Everybody in India and China is black. If this man is black man. So let me pass the mic back to Sister Hatshepsut, then to Brother Haru, because we only did this for an hour, but we got some overtime. They always give us overtime if we need it. So go ahead, Sister Hatshepsut, and finish where you were. If you didn't finish, then pass the mic to Brother Haru.
Okay, I'm gonna pass the mic to Brother Haru because I'm learning from you brothers, and a lot of the stuff that I really didn't know about, and it's just I'm gonna dig deep into this because my whole intuition led me to that this brother's been murdered, and then they just gonna sweep it under the rug. I don't think so. Okay, Brother Haru, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Hotel. Only thing I can add to it, I mean, because like the whole thing, like what you were saying earlier about Farrakhan, and the Million Man March. I went to the Million Man March, and what I thought was very peculiar was the fact that you had Farrakhan there, and you had Reverend Jeremy Wright. Remember him? Who's and you had Obama there. When Obama was speaking, we was like, who the hell is Obama? We came to see, we didn't know who he was.
Right. Just out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, right? And all three of them brothers come up out of Chicago. I think that's suspect. Okay?
Yeah.
When we was there, he didn't really get it. He didn't really drop no science like that. He started talking about atonement, and that's some Jewish stuff. So he really wasn't talking about, he touched into Aton, and he tried to say the Aton meant atun. It was this garbage how he tried to play the phonetic words to say that atone come from the word Aton, which it doesn't.
Right.
And he was just talking. It was like slick talk. It was that slick talk that he does, and I thought that there was some suspect then when I came back from the Million Man March. These brothers it took two men to hold this big box of money. Like I seen this of money, being people just taking it out, and I was like, this is like a big old church. So that really made me question Farrakhan's intention. That's when I started getting suspicious on it. But, and my mother didn't like him anyway. My mother's one of them old school, Black Panthers, and she was like, I don't like no man. I was like, oh, yeah, because, we started listening to him, back in the late 80s when Public Enemy was talking about, listening to Farrakhan or whatever. But it's interesting how this comes together because, like I said, I didn't really know that he had been shot, and then the circumstances of his suspicious death. It was a lot of different things. Somebody told me that it was natural causes. Oh, it was a brain aneurysm. It was a real vague.
Yeah, I heard that too. Mhm.
Yeah, it was a real vague type of thing. Like how did you die? Well, he had a brain. You got to tell me more than that. You know what I'm saying? And then we can get back on what's the brother name? Malik Shabazz. And all the stuff I'm hearing about him now.
Malik Zulu Shabazz. Because there's two Malik Shabazz. The one from the Midwest is a Detroit activist. The one from Washington D.C. is a Detroit actor. Is a Washington actor. He's not an activist. He's an actor.
Okay, gotcha. You scared me for a second.
Now the one in Washington D.C. and the stuff I'm hearing about him now, it coincides with stuff that I kind of already knew about the dude because, Malik Zulu Shabazz, he was the lawyer over Dr. York's case. And a lot of people around them were saying he mishandled the case, then he resigned. That's to me, and then it's affiliation with Farrakhan and all that sort of thing. And, he called himself Malik Zulu Shabazz, and you said he was trying to rock the priest collar, the Catholic priest collar, and a Black Panther, and international. So it's confusing because you got a Muslim name, you got a Christian outfit, you're a lawyer. You ain't like getting these brothers out of jail. You know what I'm saying? You ain't using your lawyer.
No, Brother Haru. He's not the one with the priest collar. The one with the priest collar is the one in Detroit. That's Malik Shabazz. Malik Zulu Shabazz. I've never seen him with a priest collar on. I don't want to misrepresent the brother, but I'm telling the truth. It's the truth. Truth, doctor. The one from Detroit, activist who right now is running with Mike Duggan, the white man, and Detroit activist. You know, he's a fallen activist in Detroit who is running with Mike Duggan, the white man that took over the city. I mean, I know that the mayor, the greatest black mayor of ever there was, Mayor Coleman C. Young. That was a bad black brother of Detroit. He was the militantest mayor America's ever seen.
Yeah.
And he was bad. He called Ronald Reagan a prune-faced cracker on TV.
Yeah.
And they stopped the money coming to Detroit. The federal government stopped the money from coming to Detroit, and the man ran the whole city on 20% of what it usually be ran on. He was a bad black man. I loved Coleman.
That's what I'm talking about.
Detroit was a hell of a city when he was there.
It was.
He put the black people in all the power positions down there. He got the white. The whites hated him in Detroit. I used to work in the white houses laying carpet and tile and all that. And the first question they want to ask you when you go there, what you think about Coleman Young? And I used to say, well, we can't discuss politics on the job.
There you go.
Because they hated him because he made the white people stay in Detroit. You couldn't have a job working for the police unless you lived in Detroit. You couldn't have a job working for the fire department unless you lived in Detroit. You couldn't have no type of city job in Detroit if you didn't live in Detroit, because he said if you don't live in the city, you don't know the city.
Right.
So the white people hated him because they had to move back into the city or rent a house in the city and play like they live in the city. And that's what most of them did. They rented houses and played like they lived in the city. So, Detroit was a very racist city when I was there. Doggone Red Wings. That's the first place I ever seen white people tear up the city because the Red Wings won. I mean, they were hooligans, turning over cars, all kinds of stuff. They ain't had that on the news. You know, I love Detroit. Detroit is a city where I came in full consciousness. In Detroit, they had a very good community. The Shrine of the Black Madonna. They had the brothers. They had the Acknartoons eatery on Woodwood. I used to love going to Acknartoons. There's some good soul food up in there. And it was always something going on. I mean, the activists in Detroit when I was there used to kind of must stick together on a whole lot of things. And that, to me, was one of the best cities I ever lived in. They had to destroy Detroit. Detroit had something special. There was something special going on in Detroit. I used to get all my books from the Shrine of the Black Madonna bookstore. I used to love going in that bookstore. I probably done brought $3,000 worth of books out of that store. And
anything the black try to build, they try to tear it down. Look at what happened to Black Wall Street. They bombed them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, Detroit is Chicago was, they say was discovered by a black brother. I believe Detroit was too. But the word Chicago means stinking onion. You know what I'm saying? They used to have a lot of onions there. Where natural onions growing and stuff. So the word Chicago means stinking onion. And a black brother
learned something new.
Most black.
I said I just learned something new. I never knew that Chicago meant that at all.
Yeah, well, black people pioneered this whole world. You know what I'm saying? The white man told me he discovered. How you discover something? We was already there. Everywhere that you dig, so you get deeper. The deeper you get, the blacker it get. The more black statues, the more black everything. That's why they won't let you dig here in North America. They make sure you can't dig here. But they know what they're going to find. Just like they find them Olmec heads down in South America. They're going to find some up here, too. You dig in Alaska, you probably find some Olmec heads and some black civilization. This is our earth. These people are just a disease right now on the earth that sooner or later is going to cure itself through natural selection and stuff. They got to go, brother. Nature is going to be the net of rules, what we call Mother Nature, Meta Nature. The net of rules is what's going to be able to, is going to take the white man. Now, it's not going to be black people. They're too weak.
Right.
So the forces of nature is going to have to come. And it's doing this job right now. That's why their birth rate is in the negative. It's been in the negative since they've been counting in the 1950s. They dying, they want to assimilate now. Boy, they couldn't stand our guts. Couldn't drink out their water fountains. Couldn't go in their pools. Couldn't go nowhere. But when they needed us, they want to assimilate. And this is not the first time they assimilated. They've been assimilating with us for years. Every time they go into the Dark Ages, some stupid Negroes go in there and wake them back up and give them some black DNA, like the Moors.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Before with the Moors, it was the Carthaginians that went in there. They went over in Carthage and raped all the women and everything. Then they was all the way in there. The Arabs are a product of assimilation with the whites. They came in the Roman Empire, the Greek was the freaks and all them things years ago, and they made it. They killed our men and made it with the women, or turned the men into eunuchs, which was really a homosexual. Because once you cut the man's penis off, his voice gets high like a woman. So they used to cut their penises off and turn them into male sex slaves. The Arabs are the biggest faggots on earth. They even got the white man beat with that faggot stuff. You know what I'm saying? They got the white man. When you could beat the white man with faggotry, you a faggot, boy. You know what I'm saying? You're a big fag.
Yeah. I ain't telling you that. Wow. I done seen some Arabic artwork that depicts all that faggotry they got going on over there. That's why they treat their women so bad. You know, walk by, walk past steps behind
Dr. Khalid said that Malcolm went to Mecca, I think, once. I think Malcolm went to Umrah, too, before he went to Mecca. To go. Umrah is going to Mecca without it being seasoned for the Hajj. It's the same thing. You go there to Mecca, you see all the same stuff, but it's just the different day that it calls. It calls it different thing. So some people say he went to Umrah, then he went to Hajj, right? So Dr. Khalid said he went to Hajj 8 times or 9 times. He said he don't know what Malcolm seen when he was over there, but he said you can cut the racism. It was so thick that you can slice it out the air. He said that he seen the Arabs attack this African lady. I mean, she was sitting there minding her business, an African Muslim, just trying to make her Hajj before she died. And they attacked and threw this lady. He said he ran over there. Oh, you touching my mama. Dr. Khalid was bad. He defended black people wherever he went. You know what I'm saying? He said he's about to jump on these Arabs. Leave her. Don't do that to her. And then he said when he went to the mosque to see Umar's mosque. Umar was one of the prophets. He was a Khalifa, what they call a leader after the prophet died. And he went to see Umar's mosque. It was beautiful. It had golden chandeliers, diamonds, emeralds, all kinds of stuff. He went to Ali's mosque. You know what I'm saying? He said Ali's mosque was decked out with all this stuff and everything. And he said he went to Uthman's mosque. Uthman's mosque was decked out with all this stuff. Then he said he went to Bilal, who was the one who made the call of prayer, the black Bilal. When they found him, he had a rock on his chest, a big boulder. They was punishing him, trying to kill him with the big boulder on his chest. And underneath the boulder, he was saying, Ahad, Ahad, which in Arabic means one God, and he didn't even know Mohammed at that time. So the black man always knew it was one creator. You know what I'm saying? That everything was one. So whereas the brow was exposed to the ancient Egyptian, Nubian religions, what we call religion, but they're not religious, spiritual concepts, I like to call them. And he was to early Christianity and early Judaism down there. By the time he met Muhammad, he didn't meet Muhammad straight up. Uthman, I think it was Abu Bakr, right? That's another one I didn't name. Abu Bakr, seeing him getting tortured, and he heard him saying, Ahad, 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 and he went and told Muhammad, and Muhammad said, go buy him, because he was a slave. See, black man was always the slaves around these people. You know what I'm saying? So he went and brought him, and he came, and Bilal started teaching. Actually, Bilal woke up Muhammad. He was always around. If you look at Bilal and Muhammad's thing, Bilal was like what we call a sage today, like a Buddhist monk, because he's teaching you kung fu and stuff. He teaches you.
Right.
But he taught the call of prayer. Muhammad even said that Bilal's footsteps will be heard in paradise even before his. So, and then when he died, he made a speech telling them to make Bilal his leader, the leader. But they say that Bilal didn't take it, and he became the governor of what we call Syria today.
Right.
Now, you can barely even see a black element in Syria. So the show is saying that we got 60 seconds left, but it's going to go over. It always do. So we're going to go over just a little bit for Brother Haru if he want to say something else. And Sister Hatshepsut. Go ahead, Brother Haru.
Well, I mean, right now, I'm more of a student right now. I'm learning. I'm in student mode right now. You know, I'm soaking all this information in, and it's real interesting. You know, one thing I did want to put out there is like a timeline. Like you said, as far as like 1981 to like 1991, Dr. Khalid Mohammed practically rebuilt the Nation of Islam. It's kind of like a repeat of Malcolm X. You know, because that's the same Malcolm X did. He built the nation the first time, and around the time, I'm just trying to put it together because it's real interesting and it's such a vague thing. You never hear anybody talk about this sort of thing. It's dealing with Dr. Khalid Muhammad. I mean, it's eye opening and it's sad and it's at the same time. You have to get that respect up, but it makes you just like sad to see how these demons that's posing as black leaders, are a bigger threat than the white man. You know what I'm saying? Because you got people like you got people like Farrakhan and them doing the things they doing, and it's just something real shady going on up there. Like the whole vibe with Chicago, the Chicago Washington connection. It just raises a lot of questions.
The power base of this country switched to Chicago with these two brothers called the Koch brothers, and they're the ones who buy the presidents. They are the puppeteers behind the scene. They're the one who pushed the bomb out. They're part of the ultra liberals, which always been the enemy. Marcus Garvey said the greatest enemies in America are the liberals, not the racist whites, but the liberals who are truly, really racist, but they trick you to make you think that they're down with you and they're only using you. But the whites, even my dad used to say this, and my mother, that they respect the white man in the South more than they do the snake in the grass white man in the North. Because he said that the snake in the grass and high grass could easily bite you. You don't know when he's going to bite you. But this other one, you can visually see that he wants to bite you. And you know where you stand with him. So they said that the white man in the South is true to what he believes in. But the white man in the North is a hypocrite for what he really believes in. Because he uses technology on you, and then you still enslaved. Matter of fact, you more enslaved under his technology than you were when you were with the ones who wasn't tricking you, to just right out beating your ass and killing you and everything. You would run. But these people now today ain't running from nothing because they are all messed up with the illusion of inclusion and white supremacy. Great people like Dr. Khalid Muhammad, he didn't want to give up all the way on the Nation of Islam because he was a truth warrior. He was a true warrior. You know what I'm saying? But by his knowledge and learning is what got him out of the Nation of Islam. His knowledge. And they started hearing him talk about Kemet and talking about Africa and Wolof and all these different things all throughout Africa. That stuff was flipping people out. People had never heard a speaker of his caliber come out like that before. You know what I'm saying? Because he used his toughness to get out there, but then once he get out there, he started teaching. And he's got so many tapes out there, man, it's beyond compare. A lot of people made money off of Dr. Khalid Muhammad. And he didn't even make the money himself off of the videos and tapes and everything he made. But you see all these dudes out here today, they making tapes and shows, and they want to make money off of them and all this stuff. The man didn't do that. He go there somewhere, you tape this stuff, and everybody had it. I mean, I used to get it from another guy who they had it on. It wasn't no CDs that they got now. The CDs, they was VHS tapes. They was VHS tapes. Matter of fact, I should have tried to change all them things because I had so many crates of VHS tapes, and I just got tired of moving them. I just left them one day. They are virtual libraries sitting over here in West Philly, within the people's basement. I left a bunch of tapes and stuff. I really wish I should have got them things, but I just got so tired, and all the information was in my head, so I really didn't have to have the tapes for myself. You know, and we go through things and lose things in life. We don't keep everything that you acquire in life in its physical form, but if you studied it, you have it in your mental memory banks. So I'm trying to tell you, this was one of the greatest black men, oratory brothers that ever lived. Farrakhan couldn't do nothing with him on the oratory skills because, see, Farrakhan speaks technology. This brother speaks straight truth. He said, yeah, kill the babies. Kill the babies because the babies are going to grow up to oppress and kill your babies. White folks have no problem with killing our babies. They kill our babies every day, abortion clinics. They even got the sisters phone that the baby won't eat, the baby won't have no sustenance, you got to kill it. And the brothers don't even have no say-so over them killing your baby. Now, if the baby is born, then you are made to take care of it. But why is it that you don't have no say-so when it's time to kill the baby? Because the white man wants the baby dead. They've been killing us. Margaret Stanger, the inventor of the eugenics thing, met with Hitler, met with the Ku Klux Klan, everybody. They had to calm down the radical whites that were just killing us out in the open because they were pushing democracy, which is his hypocrisy, all around the world, that this is the land of the free, the home of the brave, and you couldn't push the land of the free and the home of the brave. You were oppressing the people that live in there, which is an oxymoron. So they had to clean up their act. So now the abortion clinic, the way they kill you, looks so clean, you lynched in the womb. It's called the MAFA. That's the name it's been given, the MAFA. You lynched in the womb. You never see the light of day. You know, because they want you dead. Because they don't want no Malcolm X. I remember how many Malcolm X's done went through the abortion clinics. How many Marcus Garveys done went through the abortion clinics. How many Khalid Muhammad's was in the abortion clinic. Imagine how many they might have killed of great black leaders in them abortion clinics. So I'm saying, sisters, if you're out there, don't be tricked. Let your baby live. That same baby may be the baby that lifts up our people. It may be a few of them together that works together.
Next Harriet Tubman.
You know what I'm saying? We have to pass this baton. The baton has really not been passed to us the way it's supposed to have been by the elders, because they wanted to hold it till they died. But now we're taking the baton from these elders that's quiet, sitting back. You don't hear none of these elders barely. And they've been out here. They know. Some of them met Malcolm X. Some of them knew him personally, Betty Shabazz and all them people. Next week, we're having a brother on the show next Friday who was Malcolm X's adopted son that has never been on an interview before. Brother Kingsley X is going to be in the house next week. I'm going to be interviewing him. He's going to be telling me some things about Malcolm X that's never been heard before. So you're going to have to tune in to Wake Up African People if you want to hear this. The Truth Doctor is going after all the elders to give us this information that's not in the books. You can't learn about Malcolm X from no Spike Lee movie. You can't learn from no Malcolm X from just watching clips and stuff. You got to learn from them, from people who actually walked with Malcolm X, who knew Malcolm X. And we got a brother that's coming on that knew him, that is cousins with Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis. While Ozzie Davis was at the funeral, they was down with Malcolm. So a lot of people died and did not give us the information. They let the white man edit the movie, Spike Lee's movie, and tell us about Malcolm. To have Malcolm in there as apologetic to the white woman, talking about I wish I would have let her did something. That's the part in that movie that flips me out. That was not Malcolm X. That was not Malik Shabazz. That was some white stuff. That was some Spike Lee doing some coonery so he can get that movie out. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end, there's always some white woman coming to save or acting like they want to save a black man because the black man is too impotent to do it himself. They always send the white woman. Just like that movie that boy did, Will Smith. He was a drunken superhero. Send the white woman at the end. And then if he ain't saving the white woman, ain't saving him, he's saving the white woman. You know? Like that
just like King Kong.
Yeah, King Kong and Shirley Temple saving old What's the name? The one not Step and Fetch, the other one that tap dance. I think it was Louis Armstrong or somebody. You know, Bojangles, Bojangles, yeah. She got him as a little girl telling a grown man what to do. You know what I'm saying? Little white woman. So they always did that. They emasculated the black man in some type of way and tried to make him impotent. It's time to stand up. You're not impotent. You're tough. You'll beat the shit out of another one of your brothers if he crosses you any type of little small way. But when it comes to the beast, you have no heart. You have no spine. You become impotent and bitch-like. It's time to wake up and take your throne, black man, and put your queen on that high throne where she belongs. The black woman must be put back on the throne. We must bring matriarchism back because it's the only way that the earth can run in its correct balance. Because the female is the nurturing spirit. The male is the spirit that opens up the seed. He pollinates the seed. And the seed opens up inside the female, and she gives birth to you. She is our queen. We got to get her back. We got to get out here and work hard to bring as much of these sisters back as we can. That's why the Truth Doctor always got a sister on this show. If it ain't a sister on my show, it's because they didn't show up. But I always let our women have their speak. We got to bring them up. The white man's biggest attack is against our women right now, and the young black male. But our women is subtle with the white beauty and the hair and all this stuff, and they got them on TV now with blondes. It's more black blondes walking out here than it is white blondes now, and that's crazy. You know, you got the black blondes are outnumbering the white blondes. They walking around with more blonde hair than the damn white woman.
Now, at least the white woman's hair is theirs. That there ain't even their hair.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's not really that many blonde white folks left. Because by the year 2026, Scandinavian type is supposed to be extinct. You know, according to the white people's numbers. I mean, this is their calculations about extinction, white extinction. You know, that's why they have abortion clinics in our neighborhood and fertility clinics in their neighborhood. So I want everybody, we can ready to close the show out. Brother, I want you to call me right after the show, brother. I have to tell you something personal. And I'm ready to get ready to go off tonight. This is going to be a part 2. And I think Sister Hatshepsut to be ready for part 2 because we're going to have her back.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Go ahead and get yourself together and get all the information you can on Dr. Khalid Abdul-Muhammad. And I tell everybody who don't know about the great doctor, study him. Don't let him scare you.
I'm studying.
Listen.
Me too.
Listen to everything he says carefully because he will scare a scared nigga.
Yeah,
a scared
he got a strong spirit.
Will be shucking in his boots when Dr. Khalid speaks because he comes strong. And that's the way we got to be. That's what he said. We got to be strong. We got to stop this weak attacks on the white man. How you going to be weak on your enemy? And telling enemy, sorry.
Right.
You know.
How you going to be weak on your enemy? I like
your black
that.
Enemy. You'll shoot them down in the street. You shoot their mama. You will go do a drive-by on the house and shoot everybody but the person that you was looking for.
Right.
But when lift a finger to hurt the white.
Because they stepped on your shoes.
When it comes down to the beast, you have nothing. The beast could come in your house and grab your mama. And you be down there crying on your knees, begging, looking in the phone book, trying to find a bail bondsman. You won't even defend her. But they got some black women out here that I've seen. Police come to get her son, and she fighting down and she gets locked up too. I posted a picture on Facebook. The cops had the gun, trying to shoot the brother and the mother, fighting the cop off with the shotgun. Country looking so strong. So let me tell you, our queens are ready. We just got to get them and educate them and bring them up because they got a lot of weak-ass black men out here. And all they want to do is lay seeds. All they want to do is pollinate the sisters and make them have babies and run away. Or sit around the house and not even doing anything. Well, I mean, we got knowledge. Read some books. Teach your lady. Sit down with a book and read the book with your lady. Bring your lady up with you. If she's not with it and you done try hard, get away from her and find you another one that can teach you. That you can teach, that y'all can teach each other and study and learn. Because we need our women on the same page because they're the manufacturers of our people. If they're not right, then their seed not going to be right. They say that a dead tree bears bitter fruit. You know what I'm saying? So if she's dead mentally, spiritually, the fruit that's going to come out of her is going to be dead mentally and spiritually. It's more than blood that just goes through the mother and the child. All that connections, the mental connection, every type of connection goes into the babies through the mother and through the father, puts his seed in there, and that matriculates with the woman's seed, and then both the child come out looking like the mother and the father, or with the one with the most dominant genes that make them look like them. So we need our women, brother. If it wasn't for the black woman, I wouldn't want to be here on this earth, brother.
I know that's right.
The last black woman's going to take me with them. Because wherever they go, I shall follow. So we're going to say good night.
Hotep.
Good night. And we promise a part 2 on this.
All right.
Hotep, sister, say goodbye, my sister. And Brother Haru, hit me up. Hotep.
Definitely. I'm going to call you right up the show. Hotep.
Hotep.